it's Stephanie.
Hi, this is Emily.
And today we're going to continue with our bi-weekly series of 13 Reasons Why, episodes 9 and 10. Episode 9 covers Justin again, so...
Sure. So for this episode, we got to really see what exactly happened behind the scenes a little bit prior to whatever traumatic event we saw in the previous episode regarding to Jessica. So for Justin, he became this main perpetrator by being a bystander to Bryce's behavior, and I don't know, at that point it was hard for me to swallow, just because it is quite realistic, the entire portrayal of why people make decisions that they do. And I sat there really I actually, as difficult as it was to swallow what Justin decided to do and by not doing, I really could also understand him, because he felt so indebted and his identity was pretty much bought a little bit by Bryce through the years, because you could tell from Justin's backstory that his family was not particularly well off, and a lot of the events and opportunities that he's gotten in school were given by Bryce, and Bryce took care of him during even in his beach house. He let him log there while whenever he at home he had difficulties. So in a lot of ways I feel that Justin has a warped sense of honor, I guess, bro honor, or chivalry and all these other things regarding friends and his girlfriend, and to not cut him slack, but he made a split decision that obviously unraveled horrendously for the people involved.
Yeah, I would say that for Justin, I definitely think he understands the difference. I don't think he really understands the difference between, honoring the bro code versus honoring your girlfriend. And then he couldn't decide which one to honor. And I understand, from what Emily said, I understand why he felt that kind of need to be all right, let Bryce walk past him. But at the same time, it's your girlfriend. But I think that's where the book differs, though, because I think in the book they mentioned that Jessica was not his girlfriend. So in that case, I guess Justin wouldn't really care what happened to Jessica, because he was well, she's not my girlfriend. She's a random girl who's drunk and but even regardless, it's still a shitty thing to do. It's come on, you know exactly. And I liked how in the series, Justin actually tried to kind of butt in again to try to make sure no, don't do it, and then Bryce kicked him out and then locked the door. So at least Justin, and on his part, did try to kind of intervene, but he was just so small compared to we look at the size comparison between the two of them. Bryce is this huge dude, and Justin is this really lean, a relatively short guy. So obviously he couldn't do much, but he could have easily asked people to get some I don't know, crowd moving, hello, someone's doing something up there. But then he just I guess at the end of the day he just followed his bro code and just let it go.
That's some part I was going to mention. It was the fact that it was very defining that even in the episode, despite I understand the difference between the book and the movie Justin, but not movie, TV Justin, but in this case, the fact that he didn't actually shout out to ask for help, to try to save Jessica from people downstairs, and simply just waited. And the fact that he
kept it silent the entire time, even to today.
Yeah, I definitely think, in that situation, though, the fact that he keeps silent, part of it is his own guilt, but then there's also the angle of, Jessica isn't really coming forward with oh my god, this is what happened to me. And
because she was totally wasted.
She was wasted, but it was, I think she does understand at this point in the show that there's something really wrong, and she's acting out a lot. Even though her mind doesn't know, her mind consciously isn't aware,
subconsciously,
but her body is something about it's just how there's some sort of detachment going on with Jessica in the series, and obviously Justin is not helping by not revealing the truth to her. But I think in general, he is relatively selfish too, because he knows the moment that he does, he's going to lose his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
In the TV series.
Yeah.
In the book itself, obviously, like you said, like Justin was much more of a minor character too. Like I said, the book itself is really written from Hannah's and Clay's perspective.
Right.
So there isn't much room for like the other characters to really come out and like show their motives. But for the book Justin, yes, it does make a little more sense that you don't have as much emotional investment,
Right.
And therefore you don't act as I guess ferociously to certain principles. But I think in the book Justin played a very different role in this case in the story, because he basically represented all those people who believe that just because you aren't at all like associated with someone, that when you see something wrong going on, you don't need to do anything towards it. Like it's not really your problem. Like you should just let it happen. At this point, like it all really makes sense to me in terms of plot, in terms of character, as to why Hannah is kind of explaining her very elaborate suicide note.
Yeah. So moving on to the next episode of the TV series, Sherry. That was an interesting episode as well, because it's all within the same night. Like everything happened that same night. So you can really say this is like starting to be the climax of the series and the book as well, where everything has to fall in place and you finally understand like exactly what's leading up to Hannah's death. Because before, all the other things that happened were just like kind of like little things, I want to say. They weren't really major. But these last few episodes, I'm starting to think that they're going to be like really big, and they're going to be like the main reason why she committed suicide. But yeah, I want to start with Sherry.
Yeah, sure. So with Sherry, at first I didn't really understand why she was part of the story.
Yeah.
For a really long time.
Yeah.
I was always like, oh, she's kind of an outlier character. She's not really interwoven much with Hannah's storyline. At least not that much.
Yeah.
And especially in the TV series, she's shown to be pretty nice.
Yeah,
so
she's very nice.
I was quite puzzled as to why she was even on the tapes and her relevance with like the gang, right? Because she's not really part of that scene as much.
But she is a cheerleader, so she is like friends with Jessica and like the whole, like athlete people. It's just that I feel like she was a nicer person, so she wasn't really associated with them too much.
Yeah, sure.
She didn't really party as much, is basically. Yeah, I feel like everyone else partied and drank a lot, but she was like, she did, don't get me wrong, but like it was a different level.
Yeah, she definitely tried to she tried to differentiate herself a little bit from the, I guess, sort of the core crowd.
Right.
But as I watched the episode and then saw what she ended up covering up with Hannah, like the car accident, not the car accident, the pushing off of like
I mean, it was kind of a car accident.
Yeah, okay, that counts.
Okay,
yeah, because like usually when we say car accident, I think like car on car.
Yeah, but it's car on
stop sign.
object.
Yeah, which ends up being very pivotal to, unfortunately, one of their classmates dying from like a car accident, an actual like what I called a car accident.
Right.
And it was insanely sad for me because I had actually grown kind of attached to
Jeff. I think
Jeff,
Jeff.
yes, Jeff's character.
He was very minor.
He was very minor, but I guess the actor who played him did a really good job to show how affable he was, how much he tried to help Clay.
Yeah, he was like Clay's like only like true guy friend.
That's true,
right?
Yeah, he's just like, Clay, get out there. You should get some game. He
was the one who was always trying to like not really force Clay, but try to like get Clay out of his comfort zone, just so he's not always like, because Clay honestly he's very very quiet, relatively shy guy, and then Jeff was his like friend who's always like, no, you should go to parties a little bit more, like have a social life, and like I feel like his impact on Clay was always positive, so it was very like sad on my part when also he passed away in the car accident.
Yeah, I would also say it's great to kind of see how it was like great to see how his and Clay's relationship kind of developed throughout the TV series. I don't think it was played as big of a part in the book. Was it?
No, so that's the thing. Yeah. The book, I don't think the book ever mentioned Jeff's name at all.
Okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
I
okay,
thought
so
I saw his name
so that's the
somewhere.
thing. Or maybe it did, but I feel like right now the book kind of flipped a lot of things over. For side 10 and 11, it was actually 10 was actually Clay's story. So they actually started with Clay's story to kind of get her into the reason why she's at this party in the first place, and then episode, actually no, 9 was Clay, and then 10 was the whole Justin and Bryce and Jessica thing, whereas the TV show, it was Justin episode 9, and then 10 was Sherry, and then I think episode 11, as they said in the TV series at the really end, they were like, oh, the next tape is yours. So I think they kind of flipped this whole thing over in the series. I'm not sure exactly why yet, because I haven't watched the episode, but I think in the book they did that just because they want to make sure Hannah gets her story and as to why she's at the party first, and then her relationship with Clay. And then, yeah. So as of right now, I don't know if Jeff was popped up in Sherry's side of the tape yet, because it's not there in the book. I mean, I haven't gotten to that part of the book.
Okay. Yeah. All right, that's definitely answers my question.
Yeah. So I don't know if Jeff pops up. Maybe I'm sure he will, but I don't know if he'll pop up by name.
Okay, so that definitely confirms though my my assessment though. There's the fact that like in the book, Jeff doesn't play as big of a role.
Right.
In I guess in the thread of the story, as well as an explanation as to just how devastating it is.
Right.
For Hannah to be part of that whole ordeal of the fact that Sherry crashes into the sign and then takes no responsibility over it, decides that's not that big of a deal. And at the time, I guess, like, if you think about it, it's...
But
like,
honestly, I
she's
feel
drunk.
yeah, she's drunk,
like,
yeah.
Like, you really don't
And you think
know.
that, like, even, like, South Side, like, end of the day is, like, not a huge deal. So you probably just,
God.
like, whatever.
Hopefully no police officers watching this.
No, it is a huge deal, don't get me wrong, but it's, like, compared to that versus crashing into someone else, you know, like, you can just always replace a stop sign. But the thing is, you can't replace a person. But the thing is, I just thought it was, like, such bad luck as well, that the few minutes that it took Hannah to go to the gas station to get the phone and call them in, there was already an accident. You know, I feel like that is just really bad luck, you know, because if there was like any other street, if that happened, I feel like in like suburban area, the chance of, you know, an accident occurring like literally a second or two after that stop sign, you know, went down is very, very small.
Yeah, but the thing
But
is...
it's a story.
So not only that, it's just that certain things you just can't predict.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I think as we go now into more, like as you said, the climax, the uphill battle of the story, things are starting to become more and more out of control.
Right.
And I think the external world's starting to really reflect the internal world of Hannah's. Like the chaos that she's been feeling so far, it's just being like exasperated even more by
Right.
like all these external factors that are like kind of coming and crashing down on her. And it seems how it's so awful that she's connected to all of them.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what are the chances that you happen to be the one in Jessica's room, and then you're also in the one with Sherry's car?
Yeah.
Like, what are the chances of that too? You know, it's like everything just seems like such a small chance.
Yeah.
But it also seems that the world was against her.
Yeah.
You know, like not just like her peers,
Yeah.
but like the situation. You know, like what are the odds of you being in the same room of a girl being like, you know. And what are the odds of you being in the same car with someone who got into crashed into a stop sign and later was a result of a death of one of their peers?
Yeah, I definitely would say that.
Like everything, just like small chances, and it's like bam. It's like I think the world was out to get her.
Yeah, and you bring it up, then not that I condone this whatsoever. I don't condone suicide, and in this particular way or fashion, but it's like if you bring that up, like the world's against her. It must have been in the way that Hannah must have interpreted the situation too. So it starts bringing a lot of plausibility to the reason why she felt the way she did.
Yeah.
Not necessarily her actions, but like to exactly her mindset. Yeah.
So-
And so far, in terms of the TV series, it's really gotten bad, but it's also gotten really good. So
Good as in like interesting, like
yeah,
very like
yeah,
focused on it.
That's why I said bad, as in like it's terrible. All these things are happening, but it's also gotten really good because I'm like hooked on it now.
Yeah,
like I really want to like figure out what is going to come up next.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see like the ultimate like climax. But anyways, join us in 2 weeks again for the last 3 episodes. We're just gonna do like a huge finale video, and we'll see what happens then. Anyways, that's it for today. So join us in 2 weeks for the last episode for this series. But yeah,
if you like what we said and want to support us, always remember to subscribe or like this video.
Exactly.
And leave a comment if you have anything more that you like or disagree with us on.
All right, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.